Not every Hollywood project makes it to the big screen. Some films, despite huge budgets, star-studded casts, and major studio backing, vanish into thin air. In this video, we're diving into 5 ambitious movies from well-known studios that were canceled, some at the very last minute. Let's find out what went wrong. Superman Lives Warner Brothers. Studio: Warner Brothers. Planned release: late 1990s. Director: Tim Burton. Starring Nicolas Cage as Superman. Imagine a Superman film directed by Tim Burton, starring Nicolas Cage as the Man of Steel. Sounds wild? That's exactly what Warner Brothers planned in the late 90s. The project, titled Superman Lives, went deep into pre-production, with Cage even doing costume tests. The story was penned by Kevin Smith and later rewritten by Dan Gilroy and Wesley Strick. It was meant to reinvent Superman for a new generation, drawing from the famous Death of Superman comic arc. So what went wrong? Creative differences, ballooning budgets, and studio nervousness led to the film's cancellation just weeks before filming was supposed to start. Tim Burton later admitted the experience was a heartbreaker. Some concept art and footage of Cage in costume leaked years later, and a 2015 documentary, The Death of Superman Lives: What Happened, revealed just how close this film came to existing. Star Wars: Duel of the Fates. Studio: Lucasfilm, Disney. Planned release: 2019, before The Rise of Skywalker. Director: Colin Trevorrow. Before The Rise of Skywalker, there was another vision for the final Star Wars sequel, a film titled Duel of the Fates, written and almost directed by Colin Trevorrow. The script painted a darker, more politically driven finale to the Skywalker saga. It gave major arcs to characters like Finn, who would have led a stormtrooper rebellion, and Rey, who wasn't a Palpatine, but remained a nobody from Jakku. So why was it scrapped? After the mixed reactions to The Last Jedi, Lucasfilm reportedly grew uneasy. Trevorrow's vision clashed with the new direction the studio wanted to take. Ultimately, he left the project due to creative differences, and J. Abrams returned to direct a new version. The full script leaked in 2020, and many fans still wonder what might have been. The Thief and the Cobbler. Studio: originally Warner Brothers, later Miramax. Planned release: early 1990s. Director: Richard Williams. This next film is a legendary example of artistic vision versus commercial pressure. The Thief and the Cobbler was in development for nearly 30 years, animated almost entirely by hand under the direction of Richard Williams, the animation director behind Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Williams wanted to create the most ambitious animated film ever, filled with optical illusions and intricate designs. The story was a whimsical adventure inspired by Middle Eastern tales, but the project suffered endless delays. Disney released Aladdin, a similar story, just before Thief was ready, and studio execs panicked. Eventually, it was taken away from Williams and finished by another team. The version that got released, direct-to-video in the US, was heavily re-edited, with new songs and clunky narration far from the original vision. Fans later restored a version called the Recobbled Cut, closer to what Williams intended, but the full theatrical masterpiece never officially saw the light of day. Batman: Year One. Studio: Warner Brothers. Planned release: early 2000s. Director: Darren Aronofsky. Writer: Frank Miller. Before Christopher Nolan gave us Batman Begins, Warner Brothers explored a darker, grittier reboot called Batman Year One, directed by Darren Aronofsky and written by comic legend Frank Miller. This wasn't your typical Batman. Bruce Wayne wouldn't be a billionaire, he'd live above a garage, fix cars, and slowly train himself into a vigilante. Gotham was closer to a noir nightmare than a comic book city. The tone was brutal, raw, and unlike any superhero movie of the time. Warner Brothers, however, grew uncomfortable with the direction, especially as superhero films were shifting toward mass appeal. Eventually, the project was shelved, and Nolan's more grounded but commercially safer take won out. Newt Pixar Animation Studios. Planned release 2011. Director Gary Ridstrom. Yes, even Pixar has shelved projects. Newt was an original animated film about the last two blue-footed newts on Earth, forced together to save their species despite hating each other. It had the quirky charm of classic Pixar. Concept art showed a bright, playful world, and the story promised plenty of heart and humor. But Newt faced major development challenges. The story wasn't quite working, and around the same time, Blue Sky Studios released a similar concept, Rio. Pixar decided to cancel Newt and shifted focus to a new idea. That idea became Inside Out, one of their most beloved films. While Newt never got finished, some concept art and character design still live online, giving us a glimpse of what could have been. Sometimes, even the biggest studios with the best talent can't guarantee a film's release. From creative clashes to market pressures, these 5 projects remind us how fragile and fascinating the movie-making process can be. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more behind-the-scenes movie stories.